So, for economic development to be achieved, it is important that all people should have access to higher living standards. For this to occur, it is important that the distribution of income does not become too uneven and poverty is reduced. So, for us to achieve economic development, there's a difference between economic growth and economic development. We talked about that yesterday. For a country to achieve economic development, it would have meant that poverty has reduced significantly in that country, and it would have meant that the living standard of people has also improved. Do you get it? Yes. So for economic development to be achieved, living standard must be improved, and poverty should have been alleviated. I think that is clear. Yes. So a reduction in poverty brings benefits both to the poor and to the wider society. Lifting people out of poverty gives them access to at least basic necessities, improves their mental and physical health, and raises their expectation. People who enjoy better living standards are likely to be more productive, which in turn should lower the country's average cost and make the country more internationally competitive. A reduction in poverty may also reduce pollution. As people become better off, they are more likely to have access to sanitation and environmentally friendly forms of eating. So the point is that if people are raised, if poverty has been alleviated, if people are able to, if poverty if the government are able to reduce poverty, it does not only it is not only good for those individuals that have been taken away from poverty, but for the society as a whole. Why? Because if poverty is reduced, it increases people's disposable income. At least they'll be able to provide for themselves the basic needs, so they can afford food, clothing, and shelter. That is the first point. The second point is about their mental and physical health. So, when you don't have money, when it's difficult for you to feed, when it's difficult for you to clothe, when it's difficult for you to have a place to stay, life becomes miserable. So this could even bring depression. Do you understand? So the mental side of it, it's not even ideal. So if people are able to be, if poverty is being alleviated or if poverty is being reduced, it helps the mental and the physical health or well-being of people. That's the second point. The third point is about they become more productive. At that point in time, they can think ahead of having a better life. They can think ahead of doing something good for themselves, because at least they can feed. So when you are able to feed, when you are able to clothe, you start thinking, you start having that, what will you call it? You start having that confidence that, things can get better. You start believing that things could get better. As a result of that, the productivity in you starts coming out. Do you understand? So if productivity starts increasing, what does that imply? It means that the output of that country would also will increase. As a result, the country could become more internationally competitive. So reduction of poverty is not just good for those individuals that have been alleviated from poverty, but rather the society, because living standards will improve, the affordability of basic needs would happen, productivity of labor would increase, people dependency ratio would fall, government revenue can also improve, and the country's output will definitely increase, which will make the country to become more internationally competitive. That is the point there. Then expanding the range of economic and social choices, increasing freedom and self-esteem, includes increasing access to education, healthcare, and participation in the political process. So if poverty is also reduced, it means people start having choices economically and socially, what they want to do, what they can do. They will be able to choose from different varieties. They won't be restricted to limited things, socially or economically. And also, it gives them freedom and self-esteem. They start believing in themselves. They start feeling that, people start respecting us because they can afford what everyone could afford. Yes. So this should improve the quality of people's life and enhance future economic performance. So definitely, if the basic needs are met, if people can afford their basic needs, it means their livelihood, their standard of living would improve. So this gives them confidence about what happens in the future. So they are confident that the future is going to be better, because having accessibility to education and good health care makes them to have more knowledge and skills, and they will be active productive. So that means they can do a lot of things because they have good health and they are educated. So as income, education and healthcare increase saving and investment increase work, and workers become more productive. This raises national competitiveness, which can lead to even higher output and income. So logically, when poverty is reduced in the economy, people's living standard will improve. Income will come more. Basic needs can be affordable.
Yes.
Healthcare becomes easy for them. They can have access to the normal healthcare. They can have access to education. All these things that are happening will improve their human development index, which will cut across productivity in the country. So if productivity starts increasing, output generally would increase. As a result, the GDP of that country would rise. So that is the point they are making there. So we go to the conditions